All righty, real good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Inside Texas with Mitch and Jeff. That's Mitch Thames over there. He's our public information officer for the county of Matagorda. And I'm just a schlep that lives here in Matagorda.
And does L&J Small Engine Repair.
It does L&J Small Engine Repair and Gulf Coast One Radio. That's it.
And I've got 13 pieces I need you to fix by tomorrow because it might rain.
I got 2 words for you. I'm not going to say them on here, but I will text you those words. And Mike Mariner, I know you're listening. Could you please text Mitch those words I'm thinking?
Oh, man. But, Jeff, it's going to rain. But, Jeff.
No. Ain't going to rain. How many times we told we were going to get rain? It never happened.
I know.
A million. But we got to do what we got to do because of what's going on in the Gulf. Andy and I went on the air last night. I believe it was last night. If not last night, it was the night before. I can't remember. No, I didn't think it was last night. So we did an update. Okay. Yeah, we did an update, and it's changed a little bit, and it's going to continue to change between now and by the time rain starts to getting here. Now, I don't have the what I don't have is the live the radar and stuff, but there's if you go to my page, if you go to the website gcor1.com, the weather radar is there. We're getting little spotty showers that are just starting to come on shore. We're going to get those when those spotty showers come through. They are going to be little gusty winds. We had one come through here, and the winds gusted up. It's almost like little bands of coming off of a tropical storm or a hurricane or whatever. Little
just
bands.
Like it. That's right.
It's just like that.
And what I like about it, but it when it comes in heavy rains, and then when it passes, it allows the drainage to catch up.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing in our world.
We're going to see a lot of that with this storm, I believe, because of the way that it's been going on in over in Louisiana. Now, I have a contact over in Louisiana, which is my sister-in-law, and she says, yep, it'll come through, and then it stops for about an hour, then it comes through, and it stops for about an hour. And if it does that through this whole deal, we can handle 3, 4, 5 inches of rain, and that's okay because it'll stop in between. Now, on the radar right now, what I checked out was most of the rain is funneling up into East Texas and Louisiana right now, and it's slowly drifting over towards the west, and it's going to continue to do that. There's a high pressure system and a low pressure system. There's a low pressure system over Mexico. There's a little high pressure system up around Utah, let's say Utah, that area, whatever. And it's your driving force. And the other high, we always talk about the Bermuda high, depending on how strong it is. That's your driving force to bring it north. Your other storms are pulling it in. So it looks like right now that anywhere from Port O'Connor, there is a tropical storm watch out from Port O'Connor all the way down to Brownsville. Mm-hmm. And Mexico had released actually a graphic a little bit ago starting to warn people there in the different valleys about mudslides and tropical storm force winds and things like that. Most of those people in that area, in those areas in central Mexico, haven't gotten rain in months. So you can imagine dry conditions, and all of a sudden monsoon season hits just like that,
Well, I was looking at a drought monitor today, Jeff, and it shows, a lot of Brownsville from about Corpus down to Brownsville still is in a drought. So it's going to be a godsend for them to. Yeah.
And the folks over in San Antonio and Austin area and stuff like that, where those bands are going to wrap around and go, they really need it over there as well. So they're going to they're going to get some rain. Unfortunately, it's going to come a little heavier over that way, I believe, from the models and everything that we're watching. I'm watching 10 different models right now. Yeah. And, the spaghetti things are all over the place from into Louisiana, this area, south, but most of them are starting now to divert just south of Brownsville and turning in there. But the north part of the storm and the east part of the storm, if you look at it, that's always where the most rain is, the most stuff.
Yeah, we're on the dirty side, right?
We are on the dirt. We're on the dirty side of it. The new models just came in just a little bit ago, where they actually found the low pressure area from the reconnaissance planes that were out there today. So they are getting between 40 and 45 mile an hour sustained winds with higher gusts at the storm. So I'm sure it'll be some kind of tropical storm or something like that, but nothing.
Will it? You feel like it'll get big enough to be named? I don't think so.
It may. I mean, it has a chance.
The waters are warm, right?
Oh yeah, the waters are down in that area where it's at are 92, 93 degrees, 90 degrees, somewhere in there. Right in there. And then up along the coast here, it's 89. So it's about the same. All the Gulf is just a big bathtub right now. It's just a huge bathtub with a lot of it. But we're gonna get bands of rain, and we are gonna get some winds as high possibly as 30, 35 miles an hour tops along the coast, inland probably around 25 to 30. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're seeing. I look at the bars. There's little things called isobars. Those are those little lines that run around storms and stuff. The tighter they are, the windier it gets.
Yeah.
Well, this one's not drawing all of that, so they're not getting real tight.
So rain event.
This is pretty much a rain event, So we're going to keep an eye.
This is an unfair question. When is high tide? I mean, that's when we really got it along the coast.
Yeah. I'm going to show you that
elevated storm surge a little bit.
Right. I'm going to show you a little bit of the briefing that came out. This is from the National Weather Service. This is what I get my information from. Dan sent me this a little bit ago, and it even tells you do not use after 10 p.m. June 17th. Well, because that's when their new update comes. So this information changes. So I'm going to move it to the next one here. As you guys can see right there is where they found out the low pressure continues to gradually organize the Bay of Campeche, regardless of weather, and a tropical depression or storm forms expected the windier, rainier weather to dominate this week. Rainfall will worsen conditions around the area, and streams and rivers and heavy rain may produce flash flooding concerns, particularly Tuesday night and Wednesday.
Jeff, I hate to interrupt you, but let me. That's a great point to bring up, because the Brazos River is extremely high right now.
Yes.
We need a special a shout out to those folks in Brazoria County. They won't get a lot of rain and before it starts causing considerable amount of problems.
Right.
Sorry to interrupt. I thought of that. That Brazos River is high.
Yeah, the Brazos River is very, very high. And that's particularly from the rains from here in the south all the way along the east Texas, because the Brazos River, I mean, everything drains in the Brazos River all the way up from College Station and stuff. It's just and they've been getting inundated with rain up that way. So expect hazardous marine conditions for much of the week, along with potential coastal flooding, potential for tropical depression or tropical storm development. It has increased to a high probability, 70%, of a tropical cyclone over the next 2 days. So the next 2 days are going to determine how big this thing blows up, where it's going to turn. Bigger storms tend to go more north. Smaller storms turn off. So just to let you know, and we'll keep a Hurricane Hunter reconnaissance plane is en route. They already are there. They did send back information already. Now we look at this map, shows the totals across the area will likely be isolated higher amounts as well. At one point, we were in the 8 to 15 inch rain area. If you can see where El Campo and Lake Jackson is, Matagorda County is right between them there. The heavier rain amounts have moved west just a little bit down to Magnolia, but that doesn't mean we can't get that. So it just depends on the storm, where it moves to and where it goes.
And when it falls, and like you said, with those bands.
Yeah, with the bands.
How much time we have to recover between each band.
Between each band. So anywhere right now for Matagorda County, and looking back at the new totals, they're looking anywhere between 6 to 10 inches of rain totals, possibly higher in other areas. Now, you see that some days in Matagorda County, West Matagorda County, or East Matagorda County gets a whole heck of a lot of rain, and the other side don't get any. So this is the possibilities here. It just depends on how heavy those bands are when they come through. Now, I could tell everybody this. Now, they're talking about Tuesday night and Wednesday, expected to go into Thursday, okay? So expect the rain to continue on and off until Thursday. These are just amounts between Tuesday night and Wednesday, and that's why we say that the amounts could be a little bit higher with those overnight Wednesday and the Thursday rain. So there we go. Today and tonight, peak, here we go, Galveston Bay area. You can see your potentials here.
And that's exactly what we're seeing. Like you said, Louisiana, East Texas. So that's right on.
Yeah. That's excessive rain risk for today. So coming over to here, now you see you got reds down there. Okay, what does that mean? That means moderate rainfall and excessive rain risk for tomorrow. So we're in the red there starting tomorrow and into Wednesday. I'll show you the Wednesday one coming up as well. So they're expecting this to have the potential for heavy rains coming through here. And there's your Wednesday. Your Wednesday one is right there. And if you can see, it actually, excuse me, there's 1 second, over the New Braunfels, over to San Antonio, over that way. So as these bands come up, they turn, they drift, and they're going to drift west. Instead of going east, they're drifting west. So that's heavy rainfall may lead to flooding in low-lying areas, swales and roads. Homes and poor drainage areas may flood. That's what it says there. Yep. All right, here we go. Flood watch in effect. Okay, we are in that flood watch. That's all the way up there. Yep, we are in the flood watch. That's from over Galveston area all the way down to in the Calhoun County as well. But right now, this is the area. So we are in a flood watch starting. Flood watch in effect areas, dark green starting at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So that's tomorrow night. All right. Minor to moderate coastal flooding possible in the coastal flood watch area. You could see southern Matagorda are rip and also a rip current advisory. This is the big thing. I know. And
you're right.
Mitch and I were talking about this.
This is the big thing, right?
Yeah, this is the big thing. So if you live along the coast, you've gotten flooded before.
Right.
The chances are you got a 50% chance again of getting flooded in that area. So we're talking to people around Sargent, Matagorda area, Palacios, along that Tres Palacios area, all that stuff. Yeah. So it's just monitor us, stay with us. I'm going to, if I have to during the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday area, we're going to continue to get updates every 2-3 hours between Andy and I and Dan at the National Weather Service. So we're going to continue to watch this, but the rip currents also. So don't think, oh, wow, this looks great. There's 10-foot waves. Let's go out there and get hit with waves. Stay out of the water.
Yeah,
just stay out of the water. The rip currents are going to be high, very, very, very high. Okay. Also, if you're planning on going out fishing, just know there's a small craft advisory in effect as well along the coastal areas because of the waves and the winds. And we'll talk about the waves out there a little bit. Wednesday, they're expecting 15-foot seas along the coast, anywhere between 6 to 10 on those breakers. Right now, on Tuesday, anywhere between 5 and 8, and they could be higher. Just depends on how far north the low moves. The farther north the low moves, the more water it pushes. And this is the reason why these little push storms with the winds blowing onshore just makes these currents and stuff worse. So
and for those that aren't from the area, most of the homes down along the coast are built up on pilings, and this is exactly why.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing you got to worry about is if the water crosses over the road, you're going in and out is very dangerous.
Yeah.
And so we're suggesting that you be very, very careful with travel in those areas.
Yeah, I want to say this. From about Tuesday noon, 1 o'clock until about Thursday 1 o'clock. Those folks that travel down, going down to Matagorda and stuff like that. As soon as you cross over the bridge, you get areas that get covered up with water. I can imagine, or I would least to say, and we'll have people down there letting us know what's going on. And usually the fire department will block off the bridge. If the water conditions down there, Matagorda Fire Department will go down there. The Sheriff's Department will.
Well, and Jeff, you've seen it. High tide with the right wind conditions, it just blows water over the FM road. I call it River Road. I don't know what
so during this time, I'll tell you exactly what the high tides. In fact, I can do that right now.
That's the time to really pay attention.
Yeah, and you can go to my website. You can go to the website again, and the tide conditions are on there. And I will go to them right now, and I'll tell you when the high tides are for the next 2 day tide conditions. Let's see. It's going to be the 17th right now. Right now it's at low tide.
Okay.
Right now it's at low tide. So tomorrow, Tuesday, it'll be high tide at 7:38 a.m.
Okay.
The low tide is 8:14 p.m., which is sort of good. Yeah. Because that's when the storm's supposed to be pushing up there. But the high tide on Wednesday will be in the morning at 7:54 a.m. And then the low tide on Wednesday night will be 8:43. So we have a little bit to that advantage because
Wednesday morning is going to be.
Yeah, Wednesday morning. The high
Wednesday
tide
morning is going to be difficult.
Yeah. And on Thursday, and believe it or not, the tides actually go up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They get a little higher, only because of the push and the constant waves coming in.
Yeah.
But on Thursday, your high tide is 8:14 a.m. So anywhere between, that's why I say, between tomorrow, Tuesday starting at 7:30 to Thursday at about 8, let's say 9 o'clock. Those are your biggest chances for water being over the top of the road down there in those low-lying areas around Matagorda or Sargent area along the beach, stuff like that.
Flashes has quite a few. Sargent has quite a few.
Yes,
because in Sargent, some of those roads are private roads where they built the houses on. I know we had a meeting. Judge Seiferman, Bobby Seiferman, Matagorda County Judge, called. We called an emergency operations center meeting at 11:30, and both the city of Bay City and Palacios was there. Everybody was there, but just talking about what the plans are, what the protocols are, procedures, making sure everybody's up to speed. One of the things that is tremendous for us is we get reports directly from the sheriff's deputies that are out there. And so they're reporting back high water. They're reporting back anything that we need to be aware of to warn the public. We're getting those real time from the sheriff's department. I remember back during Harvey, I sick of sleeping on the floor in the emergency operations center. So I came home. And the deputies told me, said, Mitch, don't worry if something happens, we'll call you immediately. So, and I got a good night's sleep, believe it or not. But so they're out there, they're watching. The city has been clearing debris all day. They'll continue to clear debris. Cynthia over at the Raleigh at the Palacios city manager reported they're actually mowing a lot of the ditches. And removing the debris to reduce flooding. Here's what I really need to emphasize, and this isn't for our local folks, but those individuals that are looky-loos that just want to drive down there and get pictures of high tides and get pictures of flooding, and I don't mind you checking on your house if that's, but do it at the right time.
Yes.
Because our first responders are going to be overwhelmed possibly at times. I don't need you down there contributing to the dangerous conditions just because you want to drive around and watch the water, watch waves, and watch water. I'll tell you right now, Matagorda, the Gulf has whitecaps in it as far as you can see.
Yep.
The wind is blowing probably a little stronger than normal.
Yep.
But just stay away from the Gulf Coast if you're just going down there to sightsee. We just don't need you down there right now. We love for you to go to the beach. Let's worry about the weekend or this summer. We want you. We want you to come down. We want you to spend all the money you can. But for the next 2 or 3 days, we really don't need. The fire department doesn't need you.
Nope.
The JPs are down there. They're in force. The sheriff's deputies, they're down there. They're in force. The Emergency Operations Center is on standby. We can mobilize literally within minutes.
Yep.
And so everybody's doing their job. Everybody's following the procedures. We're taking the protocols off. I just need everybody to be, we could possibly have some power outages, Jeff. You know, we've experienced that now over the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
Be ready to be self-sufficient for 48 to 72 hours. That includes pets. Make sure you've got pet food. Make sure you've hopefully you've already gone to the store and stocked up. If not, do it now. Before the weather gets any worse. I don't mean make a run on toilet paper or milk and bread. That's not what I mean.
No, you're talking about 2 days of rain. That's it.
Yeah, but I want you to be self-sufficient, and I want to eliminate the looky-loos, those individuals. Jeff, you and I talked earlier about, I can't imagine somebody surfing in this stuff. But
yeah, and like I said, there's people that actually look for high waters to surf on, and they crisscross the country and do whatever they do. But there's people that go out there. As a matter of fact, what was the last storm that we had? Hurricane, not Harvey, the one after Harvey. We had one skimming along the coast. But anyway, I was down in Matagorda, and we were getting wind readings from down there. My wife and I were down there. I wanted to get some wind readings, and it was about at that time it was about 45 miles an hour. That's the one that came through at night.
Yeah,
and it sort of turned around and went to Galveston and all that other stuff. But anyway, surfers out there at dusk with the storm, you know, that 10, 12-foot waves out there. But yeah, they travel around. So just stay out of the water. These guys, our guys are here to help emergency people, but you know, they get tired of working with idiots. So just don't, you know, and they do. I was one. I mean, I've seen it. Just don't be stupid. All right. I say it like it is anymore. I used to be very cautious of what I said. Forget it. I just don't be dumb and go out there and say, well, we didn't know about it. Well, you know, if you know somebody's going out there to the beach or whatever, just stay away. Guys that go out on the jetties right now, don't do it. You're gonna that wind splash and everything is just gonna be crazy. Now, real quick, we were just talking about the storm surge and stuff, and Andy agrees with this. 2 to 4 feet for Matagorda and Brazoria County, right there. You see that blue line going up and down.
Right.
That is your tide conditions, and that's just exactly what I talk about. High tides between Tuesday through Thursday are any high says 4.5 feet along there, and it could be a little higher, could be a little lower. So that's what that gray matter is going up and down there. You know, it's plus or minus. You know, the plus or minus scale right there. So it could be off by a half a foot either way.
Yeah.
So,
well, but I mean, you know, it's not but maybe 2 feet above sea level anyway, you know, so you start adding another 2 to 3 feet.
Yes.
That's when it starts coming over the road, folks.
Yep. That's when it starts coming over the road. Yep.
And I would say it's funny because I already saw this post already on Facebook, especially those of you in Sargent. This extra water, this extra rain starts the rattlesnakes moving.
Yep.
And believe me, I've been down there during storms where they're crossing 457. And so you need to be very careful. If you're down in the Sargent area, if you're a regular down in Sargent, you already know this. If you're a weekender or if you're just visiting for the very first time, I would just want you to be very careful, very, very mindful, because you could be isolated. I mean, your road could flood, and you could be stuck where you are. So you just need to be ready, be mindful. I will tell you, in case something happens, I talked to both the sheriff and the Bay City Police Department. I also talked to the Palacios police chief today. They want you to go ahead and call. If you need an emergency, if you have something going on and you need assistance, go ahead and call the sheriff's department. I don't want you dialing 911, but call 979-245-5526. That's the sheriff's department. 979-245-5526. That's for those of you in the Matagorda County area and the Palacios area, because the police chief told me that they get they're communicating with the sheriff, so they want you to call the sheriff's office if you're in the county or if you're in Palacios, city of Palacios.
Right.
City of Bay City, call their non-emergency number is 979-245-8500. 979-245-8500. And that's if you need help. You can call the emergency management coordinator. Her office is 979-323-0707. 979-323-0707. You can also email her at co.matagorda.tx.us. So disaster@co.matagorda.tx.us. So hopefully that helps a little bit, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm gonna stream some of that stuff on a live feed on Facebook.
Okay.
And starting tomorrow sometime, we're going to try to keep that feed up for 24 hours or more if I need to.
And you've got that information on my press release that we issued today.
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
I got everything there.
Excellent.
So anyway, we're looking here at elevated wave heights and marine hazards. Now, the seas are going to be high, and you can see Tuesday, they're offshore a little bit, starting to get high. And then on Wednesday, 10 to 15 feet with winds near minimum gale and tropical.
If you got an offshore fishing trip on Wednesday,
cancel it.
I would call somebody.
Yeah. Either that or get a submarine. One of the two.
Call the Coast Guard.
Get a submarine with a good screen door. That way you can open it up and fish out there. I told you how I'm feeling, brother.
I know.
But anyway, this is again from the National Weather Service. This is what they expect. Wave heights.
Yeah.
You can see on Tuesday where that low is just below where all that yellow and green is, and then the low actually Wednesday doesn't move a whole lot. Just moves to the west northwest a little bit.
And that's the scary part. If that thing moves very, very slowly.
Yeah. Right now it's 7 miles an hour. So
that's not that. Yeah, that's a slow rainmaker.
Yeah, it is. It's 7 miles an hour. Not expected to pick up steam at all until it moves westward a little bit, and it's going to catch whatever gets sucked up and moved. So here's the wave heights. You can see 10 to 12 feet offshore, 7 a.m. Tuesday. That's what is expected. Along the coast, 7 to 10 feet waves right along the coast. And then on 7 a.m. on Wednesday, you're looking at 10 feet waves offshore, 12 to 15 feet. And that's some pretty rough water there, brother. It's some pretty rough water.
And I'm going to go back to my looky-loos. Yep. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Most of the beach is going to be taken up with these waves.
Right.
Especially Matagorda Beach. It's going to be difficult.
Right.
Most people, when it gets waves this height, just so everybody knows, most of them will drive out there and know and see the waves actually coming in through the drive, and they're smart enough to turn around and leave. Let's hope they're smart enough to turn around and leave.
A lot of folks also, people are traveling right now because it's summertime and the boats. Yep. And
we got a lot of visitors here.
And I'll tell you what, the boats will stay docked
Yes.
Whatever harbors they're at, and you just got to wait to come home. If they're in Cancun and they know that the seas are that bad, that they will sit and wait. But for 12 to 15 foot waves, normally, and I'm going to tell you this because I was looking at the Carnival Cruise stuff today.
Okay.
10 to 12 foot waves is what they try at tops, what they will go through. Anything over that, they will stop. Either that and turn around and go back in case they're running.
Can you imagine? I know it's a big ship, but still, that's rocking, man.
Yeah, we were in 10-foot waves 3 years ago when we went. Yeah, and it was man, it was a little rocky, and that was down. That was down in the Bay of Campeche. It was a little rocky. It was to me, it's fun.
Yeah,
but everybody else is like, "Oh my God, we're gonna die!"
I bet they've got some the old Ron White thing. I bet they got something to live for.
I walk up to him and I say, "Hey, do you remember that movie, that Titanic?" Jesus. Anyway, yeah, I get at him. All right, summary of weather threats across the area this week. All right, this is in our area. River flooding, new and worsening flooding conditions in our area, rivers and streams. Location, rivers and streams across southeast Texas. Timing all week, particularly beyond Tuesday night. Flash flooding, possible flooding of low-lying area, poor drainage areas, including streets across southeast Texas, particularly coastward of I-10. That means from I-10 south. Okay. Daily through the week, highest flooding potential Tuesday night into Wednesday. Coastal flooding, high tide levels driven by strong onshore winds, causing flooding on the immediate coast. Gulf beaches and areas along Galveston and Matagorda Bays. That's the locations. At times of high tide, late Monday night through Wednesday. High surf and rip current conditions. Impacts are dangerous surf and rip currents are anticipated on Gulf-facing beaches. The location, all Gulf beaches, timing all week long. Marine-wise, you're looking at winds 20 to 30 knots with gusts up to 40, rough to very rough bay waters, and seas 9 to 14 feet. Location, Galveston and Matagorda Bays and their adjacent Gulf waters, out 60 nautical miles. Timing, rough conditions all week, worst conditions Tuesday and Wednesday. All right.
I will tell you, we were several Saturdays ago, we were actually at the barn and we had a tremendous storm come through. Came through here too, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, but I want to remind everybody there was a gentleman and his young son that were shrimping. They were trying to catch bait shrimp off the Matagorda Ship Channel, and they flipped, and both of those individuals passed away. So don't take this lightly, even if you're used to. I mean, this gentleman had been shrimping forever, but that storm caught him off guard.
Right.
Unfortunately, neither one of the 15-year-old and his dad, neither one of them made it. So let's pay attention and let's really take this seriously and make sure that you're being safe.
Yeah, and this is a very important thing, and the National Weather Service is starting to do this with this little arrow deal. Okay. As far as the forecast confidence goes, you can see where it says little confidence, very confident. Right now, this is their chart where that arrow is high confidence in the overall scenario of gusty winds and high tides. There's a lower confidence with rainfall amounts and location of any heavier rain bands, which means they're not sure where these rain bands are going to come on shore, how much rain is going to come on. I mean, when you're talking a differential of, okay, we could get 2 inches of rain, we can get 20 inches of rain.
I know.
This is the problem, only because of finding the low, finding the steering winds that where it's going to take it to, and how much moisture's in the Gulf. I can tell you this, that muggy days, that what's that? The air quality, the moisture in the air. Okay, is usually around here at 70, 75.
Right.
I can tell you, which is very high. That's a muggy day. Yeah. I can tell you right now in the Gulf and just off the Gulf, those dew point temperatures are 85 and 90. So that's just a wet, sloppy.
A lot of fuel is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of fuel out there. So it's very muggy. But all right, that takes it off of there. That was from the National Weather Service. That's the stuff that we get, that Andy and I get. And then Andy gets 5 or 6 other different ones. I get 4 different ones. And now being a part of the ambassador, this ambassador program and stuff, this is the information that I get. So it does help. And a lot of, Mitch gets it, and our emergency manager gets it, and things like that. Amanda, yeah. There's just not a lot of what they say, folks like us, the radio stations and things like that they try to keep away from, because the radio stations try to determine what it says. But I know what it says. I've read it. I've seen it. It just YouTube user. Appreciate you guys. You're welcome. No problem. Andy says Matagorda, Brazoria 2 to 4 feet. Mr. Mariner says we are going to find out how good the drainage is going to be at Russell Ranch, because are they through with all the drainage over there?
They did. They have reported that they have finished all of the drainage.
All the drainage. There you go. So yeah. David, hello from Midland.
I will tell you though, Jeff, I'm going to reiterate one more time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of capacity for the Colorado River. I'm just going to tell you the Highland Lakes are record lows. They can take a lot of rain up in the central Texas area. Everything that falls below the dams, though, keep in mind that's coming our way.
Right.
Even though we've got capacity, if it hangs up in Colorado or Bastrop area and puts 20 inches, guess where it's going? It's coming our way. Now, we've got capacity in the Colorado River. We do not have capacity in the Brazos River at all.
Right.
So I think those folks listening to us from Brazoria County, I know the county judge, we had a conference call with them. They are very, very, very concerned about that Brazos River and taking 10 to 15 inches of rain.
Right.
And so special warning to those Sweeney, Angleton, Lake Jackson, those areas. And I'm sure they're listening to their emergency management folks.
Bowling all along all those rivers up there. Bowling as well, up that way, they seem to get flooded and stuff. So.
It doesn't take much for the Caney either. I mean, the Caney's on the east side. That's what flows into Sargent. It's not extraordinarily high, but again, that bulk of rain, like what happened during Harvey. Now, granted, that was 50 inches of rain. But when they come down Hardeman Slough and Linville Bayou and Caney Creek, that's I need to bring it up too about Tres Palacios. Tres Palacios Oaks historically floods. Now that river is down right now as well. Right. But again, those areas, I'll just say it again, those areas that have historically flooded with a big rain event, folks, I would be ready and be prepared and be ready to leave those areas, because we have the potential of getting that again. So
and another reason why, Mitch, all those tributaries that go into the ocean, when you got a high tide, that water has nowhere to go. It's almost like a wall,
right?
No. So it stops. It's like a plug. Until the tide goes out, then the water gets released, then it fills back up again. Right. So if you live along those rivers, watch where the high tides are. Again, that's a very, very good thing to watch, is the tides, because the tide, when it's high, it acts like a stopper. It's trying to push water up the river.
Right.
And you got water coming down the river, and it just stops, and that's when it fills up. That's when we cause flooding. Hey, and by the way, talk about this message deal. If you can, I'll play it.
Okay. So we, the Matagorda, Amanda Campos, the Emergency Operations Center, has sent out a hyperlink alert. And so I just want to talk about those that got it. that talked about the high rains. Go ahead and play that, Jeff, if you don't
Sure.
mind.
No, sure.
Please be weather aware and prepare you and your family for potential flooding from the storm in the Gulf of Mexico. Matagorda County is currently under a flood warning and has the potential for 6 to 8 inches of rain on the coast and 4 to 6 inland. The worst part of the storm will be Tuesday to Thursday. Please use caution when driving. Turn around, don't drown. Avoid swimming in the Gulf due to high tides and rip currents. Any questions, email disaster@co.matagorda.px.us.
There you go.
Thank you, Jeff. That is our way to communicate with the public. That also went out on all of the cell towers in Matagorda County to all the cell phones. Now, you have to have your emergency alert notification turned on to get that. So this will be a good test. If you did not receive that message, that hyperlink, we can send it by email, text, however you've registered with us. I actually registered both email and cell phone, and I got it on both. I like this as a good test. It's good information. It's basic information. We try to keep it super, super short. But then that will if you want more information, of course, then go to the official sources. We utilize the Matagorda County Emergency Operations Center Facebook page. It's also sent out to all of our local media. Jeff, I sent it to you with the website.
Yeah.
Our local newspapers have social media. I've been very, very pleased with the social media sharing, but I want to warn you, not everybody has access to social media.
That's
especially
correct.
Some of our older folks. They're not participating in social media. So I also want you to use the buddy system. I want you to reach out to these individuals, make sure they're aware of what's coming the next couple of days. It's called being a friendly neighbor. It's not being nosy. Make sure they're aware, make sure they're prepared. But if you don't have that, now I may have to tell you to find a young person to help you, but go to settings and notifications and make sure, if you want those, to make sure that's enabled, turned on, whatever answer your phone has, and make sure that you're receiving those. But that was a test. If you didn't receive it and you want it, call that 979-323-0707. We've been sharing the alert, how to get the alerts, how to get your email registered. And so now's the time to do it. If you didn't, that was the first time we've really used it since we've purchased it. And that, if you'll remember, right, that's through a grant with STP. We talked about the IPAWS, Integrated Public Early Warning System. I think that was it. I don't remember what the acronym is. But this is a version of that so that we can place that recording and send it out. My guess is we'll probably send something out again tomorrow. My goal is probably a press release AM and then afternoon. That's what we discussed today. I'll send something out, probably reiterating everything if I don't have anything new, just to make sure everybody's over. But that hyperlink, I think that's going to be a new tool. I call it the warning horn warning system in your pocket. You know, so many people have the old tornado warnings signals, the horns. We've had them around here for years with STP within the 10-mile protective zone. Those have gone away. We don't have the sirens anymore. I say we have the siren in your pocket. Get that enabled, get that turned on, register, and so you'll be in the know. We don't use it often. We're not going to overuse it. But if you want information very quickly, that would be a great way to do it.
I say we use it every day to wake everybody's butt up. That's what I think.
What about 5:30 in the morning, Jeff? You think?
5:30 and especially for like wives, husbands that have problems with wives cooking breakfast. We get that gun going and just let it roar. Just let it go off.
Jeff, when is your divorce being scheduled?
I don't even want to talk about that.
Okay. All right. Well,
probably now.
I certainly am not in favor of waking our beautiful, sweet, and lovely wives up.
Yeah. No. You and I both would be in hell together asking for ice water.
That's exactly right.
Hey, Andy Kirkland just said this. Lake Buchanan is 10 feet low right now.
I know.
And Lake Travis is 46 feet low.
Right.
So they can use that water over there. And it looks like.
In fact, part of my prayer is that this thing goes west of Austin and fills those reservoirs up.
Well, I can tell you this, that the forecast, like for the rest of the week, we were talking about the forecast and stuff. I mean, there's still there's a chance of showers every day after this stuff. And we're still going to get some more juice in from, we'll talk about that after we get through with this one. But I just want to do the forecast update for tonight through Thursday, if I could, real quick. Tonight, we're looking at a 40% chance of showers and thunder showers, mainly before 1 a.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 76. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Could see some gusts as high as 20 tonight. Then on Tuesday, a chance of showers and thunder showers. Then showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm after 11 a.m., mostly cloudy with a high near 87. Breezy with east winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. Gust as high as 30 on your Tuesday. Chance of precipitation is 70%. New rainfall amount between 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch are possible Tuesday night. And that's where we're looking at, the inches start creeping up. Showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm. Some of those storms could produce heavy rainfall, cloudy with a low of around 75. It's going to be breezy, 15 to 20 miles an hour. Some of those gusts, 25 to 30. Chance of precipitation is 70%. Rainfall amounts on your Tuesday night. Now, this is for Bay City area, Matagorda and south, maybe just a little bit more. 2 to 3 inches of rain are possible Tuesday night. On Juneteenth, which is Wednesday, showers and possibly a thunderstorm. Some of those storms could produce heavy rainfall, high near 82. Breezy with east winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 30. Chance of precipitation is 90% on your Wednesday night. Showers and thunder showers likely before 10 p.m. Then showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Chance of showers and thunder showers after 1 a.m. Mostly cloudy, low around 77. Breezy again, gusts as high as 25. Chance of precipitation is 60%. And then Thursday, it should run out of town here a little bit, but we still got a 70% chance of showers and thunder showers on your Thursday. For the rest of the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, into Monday, you're looking anywhere between 30 and a 50% chance of showers and thunder showers during the day. Highs in the upper 80s, upper 80s to low 90s, and lows in the mid 70s. And that's your forecast.
Pay attention. I will tell you, Wednesday's a holiday. If you are an event coordinator and you're planning a Juneteenth Day event, be very careful. I would call Amanda Campos and let's visit with her, 979-323-0707. I know the library has canceled their STEM event for Tuesday and Wednesday. They have canceled that. They have rescheduled that for August. That's probably not a bad idea. If we go into a flood warning, Jeff, I know you'll be notified. We will. If we go into a flood warning, my suggestion would be that we curtail traffic as much as possible. I'm not talking about if you got to go to work, go to work. I'm just saying that just be careful. If you come into high water, it doesn't take but a little bit to knock your car off or knock your car out. If you got a high profile vehicle, that's a little better. But I'd say just be smart, especially Wednesday. We'll have it is a holiday. I don't know what the plans were for people to go down to the beach on the holiday. Jeff, we said it. Can we say it too many times? Be careful. Stay out of the water. High rip currents. High waves. We already talked about Wednesday morning is going to be the high tide. The number one goal of the Emergency Operations Center is the safety, the health and safety of all of our residents and all of our visitors. Right. We don't want to dampen anybody's fun. We don't want to be the Scrooge that canceled Christmas, but our goal and the goal of all of us here, Jeff, myself, Andy, I know is everybody's safety. I know, and that was Andy's job. It's our job. I will tell you that, Andy, there is a lot of, it's been so dry for so long that a normal heavy rain shower really doesn't help the lakes much because it just soaks into the ground. So I'm looking for this tropical wave to not only saturate the ground, but then start filling up our reservoirs. A good friend of mine passed away. Haskell Simons told me I could not call them a lake anymore because they're not lakes. They are reservoirs to hold floodwaters until it's needed downstream and to generate electricity. Of course, you can't get those people that are built on the reservoir to believe that because they want a constant level lake because they want their boat docks and their boats to be readily available for them. But anyway, that I'm hoping a good amount of moisture gets up there. I don't want anybody to flood. I'm not that evil, but I do want to raise those reservoirs a little bit. I want the right amount of rain to fall in South Texas. But Andy and Jeff, y'all know when they get inundated, they flood pretty easy. It's pretty low. They have mudslides as well. So. Especially down in I feel that this system is probably going to go into Mexico. Let's keep those people in our hearts and our prayers.
Yeah, there are alerts out, by the way. There are emergency alerts that went out to Mexico just a little while ago.
I don't want anyone loss of life. I mean, I don't want a direct hit on a hurricane, but I also care as a human being for them. So let's keep our prayers going. That we can get through that. But hyperreach, pay attention. All the information we're giving you, even tonight, is just to keep you safe. It's not to upset you. It's not to scare you. We're not ringing alarm bells. Right. We're just asking you to be smart, pay attention, be ready, be prepared. We talked about today that the number one word is preparation.
Yep.
Preparation. Just be ready for anything. Because, Jeff, you said it best. There's no telling what this is going to do.
Nope.
This could give us 3 inches and everybody's laughing.
No, we have 2. And the reason is there's so many things going around the outside of this storm. Lows and highs moving and not being there, then being there and whatever. Andy just wrote too. Excuse me. I got this little tickle. Right now, the National Hurricane Center forecasts a storm going into Mexico. 350 miles southwest of Matagorda. It will be interesting to see which models perform well. One of the things we do when we're us guys that are you call us weatherheads or whatever you want to call them. We get all these different GFS models, the Canadian model, the European model, the Navy model, the German models. We got different models. They have every one of them have different models. And every single one of them just about are all over the place. It's just all over the place. The GFS, which is the model we talk about, which is the American model, which Andy said they dumped millions and millions of dollars into this computer system to see how close it is. Right now, it's been pretty accurate with this storm. It kept on saying it was going into Mexico. It really hasn't changed going into Mexico. The amount of water coming northward has increased quite a bit. But, where it's going, it's always said the same thing. Now, with that being said, looking at all these other models and everything that go together, the Hurricane Center is the one that depends on all these models. and then takes an average from there and then says, okay, this is where it's going to go. So if you ever hear of spaghetti models, the reason they're spaghetti models, those are all different models. Each one of those lines is different models from different computers that say what's going on, and they're all over the place. It's so hard to tell with something like this because it's a tropical system coming off in the warm water and not prolonged in how big it's going to build and how long. The thing we worry about most right now is because the doggone water temperature is so hot. How quick do these things blow up, and how much moisture do they produce? That's it right now. It's not worried about wind so much. It's a lot of rain, and this the coastal stuff is what we worry about right now.
Because we're low.
Yeah, we're low. And the other thing is flat. Yes. And the other thing is, this isn't a storm that's coming through the Caribbean and we can track it. And it's going to go here.
Yeah, no.
This is something that just formed today to even find where it's at. And now all the you put that stuff into those computers, and now it goes, oh, well, it's there. Oh, well, it does all kinds of crazy stuff, and it changes. But for the most part, these models have been pretty consistent with where it's going to go. Anywhere between just south of Corpus Christi to into Mexico, pretty much in that line. That's where we're saying it's going to go. If it does move north a little bit, again, we get a little bit more wind, a little bit more rain. We're not going to get tore up, but you could right now. It's just a water issue. For everybody. Coastal.
Can you imagine the 1900 storm and they didn't even know that sucker was coming until it hit?
You ever hear that story about the gentleman that was a meteorologist in 1900? He was standing on the coast of Galveston, and he was wearing a top hat and stuff. And I can't remember what the guy's name is. Andy may know what his name was, but he was standing on the coast and he was warning everybody to get off the beach and get off the island.
Really?
People thought he was totally nuts. Yeah, because what happened was when the tide, because the water was getting sucked out by this storm, people could not believe that the beach was so big.
Okay.
And it was a partly cloudy day that day. And if you read into this, you can go online and read it yourself. And this guy was trying to warn people, saying, "No, there's a big storm coming, and you people need to get out of here." And people didn't listen. He did. He saved his life. He was a guy that had a lot of kids. I think he had like 13 or 12 or 13 kids. God. But this is what he studied. And they got a picture of him in a top hat, real tall stovepipe hat, and standing on the beach with a book and looking out into the ocean. Someone took a picture of him or whatever. And I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah.
But the story was that
I haven't heard that story yet.
Yes, he knew that storm was coming. Some people listened. Some people told him he was nuts, that he needs to go to an insane asylum. And that night, that storm hit. That storm hit at night. So,
man.
Yeah, and those are the worst ones, the ones that hit at night.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to do our best here, Andy and Dan Riley from the National Weather Service, myself. We're going to keep everybody informed up to the minute. If something changes drastically, Andy and I or Dan will jump on. Dan will come on anytime we want. Dan's awesome. Those guys at the National Weather Service were trying to get information out to everybody possible, every kind of media source there is, just to make sure we get the right weather. And the other thing I want to say, and I've said this a million times, please, please, please don't go on Facebook to get your, I shouldn't say, if you're unsure of a weather forecast, make sure you check in with people that know what they're talking about, or people that Most of you folks in Matagorda County know who I am. I've been doing this for almost 50 years on the radio with forecasts. They've changed. It's not my fault. It's not our fault. I don't even blame the National Weather Service. Weather is weather. It's going to do what it wants to do. When God's in control of it, there's nothing we can do. But all we can do is give you a forecast.
And we can be ready.
And be ready. And the thing is, there's never, and if a meteorologist ever says this is your guaranteed forecast. No, it just does never happen. It never happens. So nothing is guaranteed when it comes to forecasting. Nothing's guaranteed, especially with these storms right now, the way the water temperatures are, the way how the winds are shifting and that. So nothing's guaranteed. The best thing to do is, keep it tuned with us right here at the Gulf Coast One Radio. Our radio broadcast, the weather broadcast on the radio twice a day. I did change the music format. I don't know if you listened or not, Mitch, but I did change the format. It's now 60s, 70s, 80s, and a little bit of 90s. So we got that kind of music going on right now. People love that stuff. So we put that up there along with the weather forecast twice an hour with Andy Kirkland. And then we all the tropical stuff that comes onto the website. As soon as we get it, we put it on the website so everybody can read it. We'll put a Facebook post up and say, hey, brand new forecast, go check it out. We let people know what's going on. But everything that we get, again, National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service. It doesn't come from Bob up in Illinois and says, hey, it's going to rain a lot. No, we ain't going to do that. We make sure we try to dot our I's and cross our T's, and everybody's working hard to make sure everybody stays safe.
And Jeff, I can tell you the Emergency Operations Center is at level 2. That just means that everybody is monitoring and we're all prepared to be called out. Judge Schiefferman, as I said today, had a meeting at 11:30 today. I was very impressed. We probably had 40, 45 people in that room, all talking about what each of them are doing to be ready. EMS is staging individuals as well, fire departments. Even the hospital was there. Warren Robichaud was there talking that they have pulled their procedures out. They're making sure that everything works well. I will tell you that there was some culverts over there that during some of the floods were stopped up. Commissioner Frick got over there, got those cleaned out. And so the cities are cleaning out. They're getting ready for a heavy rain event. And one of the things they asked you to do, if there's something blocking in your ditch or your yard, remove it. If I were you and I was down along the Gulf Coast, I would certainly secure anything that could fly off or float off if you want to keep it. I would secure, especially along the coast, Sergeant, Matagorda, Palacios, anything of that nature. I even went out to my backyard just to make sure that we were ready. And I live here in Bay City. Like I said, the Sheriff's Department has 24/7 coverage. The sheriff deputies are out there. They're feeding information back real time as the situations. If you find yourself in a situation, reach out to the Sheriff's Department, reach out to the Bay City Police Department, depending on where you are. But be ready for anything, because Jeff just said it, and the experts are saying it. We don't know exactly what to expect, but we got to be prepared. And Jeff, in closing, you and I talked about this. Let's utilize this. Let's hope that it's a rain event that our farmers can use, and it's not too much for them. Let's hope we get through this. Let's hope Friday we start looking at what we can do for the weekend, and then use this as a practice run for the real thing, because we've got an active hurricane season out there. You need your evacuation plan ready. You need your what I call your hunker down plan with food and water and medicine. Don't forget your pets. Medicine for the pets, food for them, 3 days worth of food, a gallon of water per person per day. Let's make sure we're talking with our friends and our families. I call it using the buddy system, like we did when we went swimming when we were younger. Make sure you got somebody got an eye on you at all times.
Hey, did you say a gallon of water or beer? Which one?
Well, depending.
I want to get this. So Andy, he listens to this. Andy, listen.
Andy, you need a gallon of water and a gallon of beer.
Oh, geez.
Per hour.
Per hour.
Per day.
Yeah, that way we can roll you and float you down from Wharton to Matagorda County. That way we can do that.
But let's take advantage of this, folks. Let's be smart. Let's take care of each other as we always do.
Yeah.
And Jeff, I look forward to passing on the information to you immediately upon getting it.
Yep.
And we'll get through this together, folks.
And one last thing I want to say, and then we can go. You know, everybody. It seems like everybody has a Facebook page or whatever. Okay. You know, when you go and like a page, everybody takes the time to go, oh, I want to make sure that I like this page, the Puppy Dogs of America, or this and that. Take the time to, like our page, Inside Texas, Jeff Michaels' page as well. I don't even say about L&J Small Engine. I don't put much up on there. We just talk or chat or whatever. Yeah. But the emergency management, Matagorda Emergency Management, make sure you got that one on there. Yeah. Police department, sheriff's departments, all their Facebook pages that are important. Right. That way, because not only do they share it, if you miss something on your phone, it's on your Facebook page if you're at home or whatever. But do the important ones first. Then you can get into John Loves Pigs or something. I don't care. It doesn't matter what you do after that. Get the important ones first. And this seems like this is the way I got to talk anymore. I don't get it. If I say, please go, to this place and get this done, and this, they're going to say, yeah, okay. And then they won't do it. But if I go, hey, John's Pigs, like that page, everybody and their mother going, what the hell, John's Pigs? We're going to look it up. I'm telling you, emergency management guys, are the ones they put out a lot of stuff. We put out a lot of stuff. Andy does too. Make sure. I like L&J. They did a heck of a job on my generator at a great price.
Are you paying for that commercial?
I'm not. I think Andy needs to pay me double for that commercial. I think. Okay. All right. So you owe me another $90, Andy. Anyway. But anyway, that's what we got. I'm gonna put another update out at 11 o'clock tonight on our Facebook page and update the web page, and then tomorrow morning again, like 6-7 o'clock, we'll have another update as we get them. 10 and 4,
yeah, and right after the next briefing, then I'll get a press release out.
Yeah, there we go. All right, that covered up a whole hour, and we had about 7,000 other things to talk about.
I know. Next week.
Yeah, next week we'll get to it. But anyway, keep it tuned right here to Gulf Coast One Radio. Inside Texas, we'll do live stuff on there. We're going to do live stuff on the Facebook page as well. Make sure you like our pages, and we actually send little alerts out as well. Make sure you got that alert deal down set up on your phone. Right. We'll have all that information on our live streaming when we do our weather broadcast. On behalf of myself, Jeff Michaels, and the lovely and talented Mitch Dames, have yourselves a great night, and we'll see you this week.